What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are taking a look at the all-new BMW i5 M60. I made a review of the new 5 Series 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I was not too happy with that car. You can check that out in the top right corner. There were a lot of comments on that video, relatively speaking more than usual, and most of you were agreeing with what I was saying, like design wise, and the fact that some things just feel a bit cheap and not really meant for the European market, but more for like China and stuff like that. And well, there were also a lot of people with G30s that were saying, yeah, I'm never going to sell mine, I'm going to keep it forever. I also think personally that the G30 is like peak 5 Series, and yeah, it's all downhill from here. But today we're going to find out what the electric version is like, and also an M performance version, because last time we had a 520i, which is basically like, yeah, a sales rep car. This of course is a lot more luxurious, more sporty and more expensive. So let's check out the spec. We've got a frozen deep gray today, which makes the car look a lot more aggressive and a lot more angry and a bit more Batmobile-ish compared to the 520i we had. Now, we didn't even talk about this last time. BMW iconic glow grille. So you have this edge around it, this LED strip around the grille that is illuminated anytime your lights are on, I think, or maybe all the time, I don't know. Iconic gross is what I call it, because yeah, it's a bit too tacky for me. Don't really like that. It's a bit too, hey, look at me, I've got lights in my grille. Yeah, don't really like that. We've got an M performance bumper, of course, which is a lot more aggressive. Big air intake here, and we've got the shadow line headlights as well, so with the dark surrounds for the headlights. I'm not going to cover too much 5 Series in general, because I've done that already, so go watch that video I linked at the start. But we do have these 20-inch M wheels with around that Pirelli P0 rubber. Behind that we've got M Sport brakes, and they are actually quite big, because this is a 20-inch wheel. That is a big brake disc. So you need that, because this car weighs like 2,400 kilos. So yeah, you need big brakes to slow that down. We've got the adaptive dampers, 48 volt roll stabilization, anti-roll stabilization, or anti-roll bars I should say. And yeah, that's all to keep it level, because it is very heavy. We've got carbon mirror caps here as well with M design, and shadow line around the windows, privacy glass. You've got your charge port right here. Now, yeah, we're going to talk about that a bit more later on, but you can charge with a speed up to 205 kilowatts, and you have a claimed range of 516 kilometers in the M60. At the rear, you've got a slightly different diffuser as well for the M60, and then a little bit of a carbon spoiler there. Now, you do get, I don't remember if I showed you guys in the 520i, which didn't have this. This car does have that to stow your charging cables, but the 520i didn't have that. I thought that was very strange. Anyway, do we still have a front trunk? Yeah, we can open that. Let's see what's going on here. Ah, so nothing. Okay. Yeah, so a big slab of plastic, and then some electric motor stuff going on in here with a heat pump as well, which is going to save you a lot of range in winter. Yeah, okay, so nothing here. We do have that electric motor. Is that closed properly? Yeah, we do have that electric motor on the front axle. So you've got one on the rear axle, 340 horsepower, one on the front axle, 261. So the front axle one is the one you gain with the M performance version, the M60. If you go for the eDrive 40 or whatever it's called, you get the rear axle only 340 horsepower, but you do get a bit more range, 580 kilometers instead of 516. So yeah, that is quite a bit more range, I would say. Power wise, this M60 ends up at 601 horsepower and 820 Newton meters of torque, which is quite a lot. Not as much as a Tesla Model S Plaid, which I think costs about the same. Yeah, it's a bit expensive, this car. It's 136,000 euros, this particular one, which that is quite a bit of money, I would say. Let's get in because it is hella cold. Freezing my balls off. Okay, so interior wise we have a bit of a different spec compared to last time as well, because this is more luxurious. We have the comfort seats, which I really struggled to convince Martijn that these were actually the comfort seats. As I said in my previous review, you don't have the upper part that is adjustable anymore, and in general it just feels a little bit less luxurious. But these are the comfort seats, and we've got this merino leather, which is super soft, very nice. But then the tackiness begins, because this car has the optional LED interaction bar, I think it's called, with that ghastly crystal pattern in there, and it also interacts. So if you do that, you have red stuff. If you're driving and you open the door, I think it also blinks red. Oh, it doesn't even do that anymore. The G30 used to do that. Okay, anywho, so we've got this wood as well, which is very nice, like an open pore wood, super nice. And then they put this, like, I don't know, this gold bronzish thing on there, which just looks like a very tacky kitchen design or something like that. And then you have these bronze elements, this gold bronzish. It's just like they are trying to make it as tacky as possible. And I think I have an answer for that. I mean, it is a matter of taste, of course. Do keep that in mind. Maybe you guys think that this is super beautiful. Let me know in the comments if I am just completely off here. But if you go to my modes, digital art. So this is to give you an idea of why they did what they did in this car. They didn't even try to hide it, because this is digital art made by Xiao Fei, which is a Chinese artist, I'm assuming. And then you get this audio guide.
A connection with BMW start with the creation of the 18 BMW art car. With the digital art mode, we have the chance to cooperate again and integrate my art into the software of the car. I think it is a kind of a designate between BMW and me.
It is very obvious to me that, you know, that's what this car is built for. It's for the Chinese market. That's also why the car is so big. It has so many tech features. It's tech to be techy. Okay, so enough of grandpa's complaining. We're going to drive it, sport mode, and yeah, we're going to find out what it's like. So go back there, and we have to go there to live vehicle, and then we get all the data. Yeah, so let's head out and talk a bit about what it's like to drive the car, because it is a very nice car to drive. I like the approach BMW takes. It is just an electric 5 Series, not like an EQE, which is not an electric version of that, of an E-Class. It's like something separate. It feels completely different. This, however, does feel like an electric 5 Series. So I quite like that conservative approach. Oh, that's quite loud, the fake sound. And it is a quick car. It's nowhere near as quick as a Plaid, but it is a quick car. You can turn off that fake sound, by the way, if you want, which is great. The issue I have with this car and with electric driving in general is that every time I do it, I seem to struggle with coping with the range. It always seems so inconvenient, and that is maybe because just I'm not used to it, but also because this car has a claimed WLTP range of 516 kilometers. Now it is quite cold today, 1.5 degrees, fine. But when I charge it up, it says the maximum range, so to go to 100%, is 350 kilometers. And it would have taken me, I think, an hour and a half to charge it up with a very fast charger, a 300 kilowatts high performance charger. Would have taken me an hour and a half to go to 100%. So I didn't do that. I went to 80%, which means I now end up with 60%, 200 kilometers left. And I spent 50 minutes at the charger. I mean, it just doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I don't think we're there yet. We might be for some people if you do like 100 kilometers every day and nothing else, and you have the same route and you don't have any surprises or whatever, fine, but I just don't like it. I sit there at the charger, BMW says 205 kilowatts of charging, and then I put it in the plug and it does 150 at best. It goes down to 130 to 120 really quickly. Then someone pulls up next to me and he shares the box with me and it goes down to 70. And I sit there, I'm like, okay guy, I'm going to move my car to another one if you choose to take the one next to me. But it was just so frustrating. So launch control, we've got that ridiculous sound and vibration, and yeah. It's not a secret that I'm not the biggest fan of all this fake stuff. It feels like I'm in a roller coaster and I'm not 8, so yeah. I'm not really into that, surprisingly. Anyway, full throttle onto the Autobahn. And then we have this boost pedal. The left pedal, we don't have a right pedal, so the left pedal, if I pull that, we go into boost mode for 10 seconds. That is actually when you have the maximum power of 600 horsepower and 820 newton meters of torque. Although I don't really seem to get that, so let's brake and try that again. Maybe it's because we have 56% battery left. Yeah, it's definitely already limiting power at 50%. Electric performance cars don't really work yet, because as soon as you start extracting power from it, the range goes down like crazy. So don't expect this to be an electric M5, because it just isn't. Expect it to be a very fast electric 5 Series. With a lot of tech and a lot of gimmicks to make you feel like you drive something special, while you're just overpaying for nonsense, basically. Is that too harsh? I don't know. I feel like I'm on an island here, guys. Let me know how you feel about this, because I just don't get it. I don't get why people would buy this for 140k and then end up with a car that can do 350 kilometers on a full charge. It drives really well. I mean, it feels a lot more solid than the 520i. They definitely did a lot to the chassis to tweak it, to make it feel more sporty. I think the damping feels really good. The suspension feels very expensive. Like it absorbs everything, but it's not harsh. So this is top speed, 230 limited. So 100 to 200, it actually performed pretty well. It's quite a quick car, 8.08, which is about the same as a Porsche Taycan GTS Sport Turismo. 8.08 is pretty quick. And I also like that you can actually adjust the regeneration. In a Tesla you only have one pedal drive, but in this you can actually adjust the different stages of regeneration. So I've got it in the lowest setting now, which means that you can sail when you release the throttle. But if you want one pedal drive, you just hit that, go to B instead of D, and then you have basically one pedal drive. But I find that really annoying, so I keep it in drive. What I really like about this car, as I said, it feels like an electric 5 Series. So you have some feedback through the steering wheel. It feels like they really try to make this car handle like a BMW should, and it handles really well. It feels super solid, and it has loads of grip. So I really like that, as opposed to Mercedes EQE and EQS even more. They feel like a cocoon in which you just transport yourself from point A to point B, which is also very nice because it's super comfy and light and spacey, and I love that as well. But this feels more like a proper car. So that is something I really like about this car. It is going to be interesting though to see how this is going to develop, because performance cars and electricity, they don't really match, to be honest. The range goes down so quickly, which just takes away a lot of the fun, because every time I hit the throttle I'm like, okay, so nice, I can drive a bit faster, we can do like 220, and then I can see the range going down so quickly. We went down from 200 to 137 in 20 or 15 kilometers. So it just takes away a lot of the fun, because I'm like, okay, now I have to freaking charge the thing up again to even get back to the office. So it's like the choice between, are you going to hit the throttle and have a good time, and then you have to sit at the charger doing nothing for 50 minutes, or are you going to just drive it regularly and you can make it back to the office and yeah, don't worry about it. I don't know, maybe I'm a bit too grim and a bit too pessimistic about this. Let me know. I really love the fact that you guys commented so much on that 520i review, because it really gave us an idea of where you guys stand. Let us know what you think about this. So one last pet peeve of mine is the fact that the speed limit warning, that gong you can hear, because I'm driving 103 where 100 is allowed. You can't turn it off and then keep it off. You always have to turn it off by hitting the set button, keeping it pressed, then it deactivates. You have to do that every time you get in the car. Super annoying, and that is with modern BMWs. That's the same in a BMW M2, for instance. So yeah, that's pretty horrible as well. Anyway, it is a pretty good car. It just doesn't really work as a performance car, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. If you want to watch another video, click this one. We've got a playlist up there. Subscribe if you want to be updated when we upload a new video, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye guys.